Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll start off. Welcome everybody to today's Bhagavad-gita class. Srimad Bhagavad-gita as it is, not as you like it. I can't say it as well as Ananda Prabhu, but that's serious anyway. So we'll start off with the introductory prayers on page 1. We'll recite them together. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shtapyatam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagara Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Satjivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Kanchkana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vrineshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Vanchakalpa Charubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, thanks everybody for joining today for Bhagavad Gita class. This day, the 12th of January, we will be on Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, text 24. We will begin by reciting the next 10 verses In unison, the Sanskrit and then the transliteration. So, yeah, text 24. Nabhasprisham diptamanekavarnam vyatatmanam dipta vishalavnetram drishvahi tvam pravyatitantaratma dritim navidami samam cha Vishnu. O all-pervading Vishnu, I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Seeing your radiant colors fill the skies and beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid. Text 25. Lamstrakara lani cha te mukani dristvaiva kala nalasani bani disho na jane nalabe cha sarma Prasida Deva Jaganivasa. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. Text 26 and 27. Amicha tvam dritaratrasya putra sarve sahaiva vanipala sangai bhishmo drona sutta putrastatasau sahasmadhirayar api yoda mukaye Vaktrani te twaramana vishante damstra karalani bayanakani kechid vilagna dashanantareshu sandrishyanti churnitar uttamagnag. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and all our soldiers are rushing into your mouths, and their heads smashed by your fearful teeth. I see that some are being crushed between your teeth as well. Text 28. Yata nandi nam bahavo mbuvega samudram eva bimuka dravanti tatatavami nalaloka vira vishanti vaktranya bivichanva. As the rivers flow into the sea, so all these great warriors enter into your blazing mouths and perish. Text 29. Yata pradiptam dwalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samrida vegaha tataiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vaktrani samrida vegaha. Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. I see all people rushing with full speed into your mouths as moths dash into a blazing fire. 30. Leliya segra samana samantal lokan samagran vadanair dwalabdihi tejobir apurya jagat samagram basastavo pratipanti padishno. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people in your flaming mouths and covering the universe with your immeasurable rays, scorching the worlds. You are manifest. Text 31. Akyahi me ko bhavavan ugra rupo namostu te deve vara prasida vigyatum ichami bhavantam ajam nahi prajanami tava pavritrem. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. I do not know what your mission is, and a desire to hear of it. Yeah. Text 32. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi loka kshaya krit pravrido lokan samahar tumiha pravrittaha rite pitwam ne bhavishanti sarve ye vastita pratyanike shuyodaha. The blessed Lord said, Time, I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I have come to engage all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Text 33. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labasva jitva shashtrun bhunkshavva jam samridam mayai vaite nihata purvam eva nimita matram bhavasavya sachin. Therefore get up and prepare to fight. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachin, can be but an instrument in the fight. Last text, 34. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jairadratam cha karnam tatanyan api yoda viran maya hatam stvam jahimavyatishta yudasvajeta sirane sapatnan. The blessed Lord said, all the great warriors, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, Karna, are already destroyed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies. So we'll go back to text 24. O all-pervading Vishnu, I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Seeing your radiant colors fill the skies and beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid. So before these 10 verses, we understand that Arjuna is requesting from Krishna to show his universal form. He's saying, I wish to know the cosmic form. I yet wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So Krishna is granting that wish of Arjuna to see his universal form. So Krishna granted that desire and showed it to him, and Arjuna was amazed at first. She's like, wow, I can see this form. It's more brilliant than thousands of suns. And it has divine forms, multicolored like the sea. So he's using these great words. If hundreds of thousands of suns rose up at once into the sky, they might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So there's many descriptions of what's in this universal form. Many other living entities like the Adityas, the Vidyadharas, the Ashvinis, the demigods giving prayers to the Lord. So there's many things in this universal form. There's actually everything is within this universal form of Krishna. And at this point in the conversation, or Krishna or Arjuna is like beholding this universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is becoming afraid. He's seeing things he didn't know he would, or he couldn't imagine he would see. He's seeing the demigods surrendering with their folded hands. They're singing Vedic hymns. He's seeing all of the soldiers on the battlefield, everybody being smashed in between Krishna's teeth. So he's seeing so many things. So at this point, he's praying, please, Krishna, I am afraid of this universal form. Yeah. O Lord of Lords, text 25, O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing, death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. So Arjuna, straight from Arjuna, he's saying, I'm bewildered, seeing all these forms within your universal form. He wasn't quite ready to see that, although he wanted it. He wanted to see it. Arjuna is actually asking Krishna to behold this form, not only so he can see it, but so we can see it also. Because Arjuna is a pure devotee, and so he already understands all these things about Krishna. But just like other devotees who inquire about the Lord, they say it out of pleasure. They get pleasure from hearing about the Lord and from reciting things about the Lord. And so in this case, Arjuna is getting pleasure, although he's displaying this fear. He also understands who the Lord is at this time. He has no mistake. And before, even before this instance, Krishna's already giving Arjuna advice about, to fight, even though he sees all these things to fight. So we have in the second chapter, Antavante me deha nityashyokta sharirinaha. What's the last part? Yeah, he's saying, for the indestructible, the only the material body, which is only the living entity, only the material body is destructible, and the living entity is inside the body is indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal. So he's saying, even though the body gets destroyed, the soul doesn't get destroyed, and so therefore, Arjuna, you should fight. I think it's, yeah. And so he said it already that, even though this body is destroyed, you should fight. So we get all this beautiful imagery. As the rivers flow into sea, so all these great warriors enter into your blazing mouths and perish. So all these warriors situated on the battlefield are going to perish. Anyway, they might not perish from that battle, but they will perish in the end. Just because the body is temporary, like we've heard earlier in the Gita, that just as the body goes from boyhood to youth to old age, or just as the soul passes through the body and the body's changing from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, the soul enter a new body. So these bodies are temporary. It doesn't, we can do many things in these bodies, but eventually we'll have to take a new body, especially if we're under the three modes of material nature. So Arjuna is witnessing that through the universal form of the Lord, that all the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and these are all very important relatives and friends of Arjuna. So he's seeing his friends and relatives there, and all the other soldiers are rushing into the mouths of the universal form, and their heads are being smashed between Krishna's teeth. So again, Krishna is illustrating the fact that this is temporary. These bodies of these soldiers are temporary, and it's going to happen anyway, so why not fight and do your duty? So in this, we'll read the purport to this text 26-27. In a previous verse, the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra, and their soldiers and Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that Arjuna will emerge victorious in battle, despite heavy losses on both sides. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also. Okay, we'll skip to, text 32 purport. It's very nice. This verse is very important. Krishna is answering Arjuna's question. He's saying, "Time I am the destroyer of worlds, and I have come to engage all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain." Purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was nonetheless puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even Brahma. Yasya brahme cha kshatram cha ube bhavata odana. Mrityur yasyo pashet shanam ka ita veda yatra saha. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is an all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in the form of all-devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present in that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight, then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that is his plan. If he stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death cannot be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. So we all have to abide in the law of nature. We all take a body, and we're born. We have growth. We have progeny. We have maintenance. And then we have a diminishing period of our lives, and ultimately we die. So we all go through these stages, mostly. And even other living entities go through these stages too, like a tree or a dog or an insect. They all grow and develop. But that's not what they actually are. They're the spirit soul. And so the spirit soul is going through all these different stages of life, witnessing it as someone is on a chariot, riding a chariot, and the horses are pulling them and they can't do anything about it. They're just being pulled along. And in this case, the horses are the senses. So you have sight, taste, touch, smell, and hearing. And these senses, they pull us along for a ride. But it's our duty, and it's the duty of Arjuna to listen to Krishna. And in this case, Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight. And Krishna is also asking us to control our minds. Because without controlling our minds and our senses, we will not be able to achieve the highest success in life, which is Krishna consciousness. All the time, these things will get in our way if we're unable to control them. They'll divert our mind from being Krishna conscious. We'll have trouble focusing on the Lord if we're focusing on gratifying our senses. But it's not like it's all dull and void, this practice. We're very happy we get to dance and we get to sing and we get to feast. So there's no sadness in trying to control our senses. We just have to get a higher taste. Param drištva nivartate. By ceasing, and vishaya vinivartante niraharashidehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drištva nivartate. Although one may be attached to sense objects, the taste for them remains. But ceasing those engagements, one can attain a higher taste. So it's not that we try to avoid using our senses. We just use our senses in the service of Krishna. We use all the senses in the service of Krishna. Even the more gross senses, Krishna says in the Gita that we can use sex life to produce progeny, but not just any type of progeny for that child to become Krishna conscious also. Because if we don't do that, we'll just continue in the path of the cycle of birth and death. And so we're all trying to get out of that. And Krishna's saying that we're going to eventually fall victim to this death, so why not use this temporary time to practice Krishna consciousness? And it's not that we have to do, these certain activities. We can do whatever activity, but we should devote it to Krishna. As it says in chapter 9, do everything for Krishna, give everything for Krishna, give charity for Krishna. And so we have instructions in the Gita from Krishna that if we just offer up our life in the service of Krishna, then that will make it perfect. But we have to learn how to do that too, you know. So we have the temple to show devotees and individuals who are interested in devotional service to come and learn. There's also many lectures online for individuals to learn more about who Krishna is, how to serve Krishna, what's the proper way to serve Krishna. Because we understand from the Gita itself that Krishna will only accept certain things. Like for instance, when we offer him preparations that we prepare in the kitchen, we offer him a leaf of flower, fruit, or water. We're also allowed to offer grains and milk. And so we offer those things with loving devotional service. Krishna takes them, and then he gives them back for us to enjoy as his mercy to us. So without that first offering, the food, we understand from the Gita that we would verily only be eating sin, because we're not offering it back to Krishna, so we're thinking we're enjoying it ourselves. So Krishna so nicely gives us this information in the Gita. And Krishna's trying to get Arjuna to recognize through these verses in the 11th chapter that, you know, all these individuals that he sees on the battlefield are going to die anyway. So why not just do the duty that you've been given and fight? Yeah. Any questions, comments, chastisements, corrections, thoughts, laughter? Go ahead. Radha had her hand up first. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing your reflections on this part of the chapter. It's really graphic, but you're explaining it so nicely that it's not so, well, it's been nice. Thank you. I wanted to share a reflection, if that's okay.
Please.
So when you were speaking about controlling our mind and our senses, it made me think about like the dharma of the soul. So like the dharma of fire is heat. The dharma of sugar is sweetness. So like the dharma of the soul is service. And so naturally we want to serve someone or something. And being in the material world, we want to enjoy our senses. Like you said, we tend to serve our senses. And most of us, at least I can speak for myself, for a long time I was trying to serve just my own senses without Krishna in the picture. I was thinking, oh, I want to see a nice like view. I want to go into nature and see beautiful things, or a nice movie. I want to smell nice flowers or smell nice food. I want to just eat whatever I want, like just fast food. Let me just go to the nicest restaurant and, get upset whenever, well, actually I wouldn't get upset if it came out late, but if I was really hungry, sometimes I would be like, why are they taking so long? I ordered this like 10 minutes ago. It should be ready. This is fast food. Anyways, so just try and enjoy all these senses. But when I switched over to like trying to serve the Lord's senses through my senses, like, okay, I'm going to go and see the devotees. I'm going to go and see the deities, or, I'm going to use my eyes to read something nice or see a picture of Krishna painting. Or I want to smell like nice prasadam or a nice flower that's been offered. Preparing something for the Lord it's been really, it has shown me to be more compassionate for those who are preparing food. But anyways, I put more love into like preparing a meal for Krishna now, because I'm like, I want to offer something nice. So anyways, I was just thinking that this practice is so nice because I haven't had to give up anything. I actually have found that I'm more fulfilled. Even though at first I thought surrender to somebody, like give my life to somebody, like how does that work? How am I going to be happier? So anyways, one more thing is just like, a tree is nourished by drinking water from its roots, and all that water is dispersed between all the leaves and branches, and all the individual leaves or flowers or fruit, they're nourished by drinking water from the root. And like serving myself was like putting water just on an individual leaf, and then the whole tree would not be nourished. So I see like serving Krishna like giving water directly to the root, and that naturally fulfills everything I need, everything those I care about that they need. It's just so nice. So anyway, sorry for the long thing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your reflections and comments. Yeah, it's like the hand's like, I want to enjoy. Yes, I want to enjoy. But, the hand tries to eat or roll, and it's like, how does it, and it's doing this for a while. It's like, I want to be the enjoyer. And then it gets a little sad, and then it's like, oh man, I'm kind of tired. And then it starts to dry up, and you're like, well, the hand's like, what's going on? And the hand's like, oh, okay, I can't enjoy myself. I've got to put the food in my mouth and take it to the stomach, and then it's distributed to all parts of the body. So if we give everything to Krishna, our words, body, and mind, then in that way we're feeding the stomach, and the rest of us will be nourished, and also everybody around us will be nourished too. Thank you. Who is next? Damodar?
Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for the nice class. Arjuna says, O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. So Krishna is displaying so many different forms, so many different scary things. So is it that all of those things are God, or would you explain that a little bit?
So God is God. Everything is God. So there's three different energies of God that God has, that Krishna has. He has his internal energy, his external energy, and his marginal energy. All of those are him. We're the marginal energy, so we can either be influenced by the internal energy or the external energy. Both the internal energy and the external energy are from Krishna. So all of the things that we actually see with our eyes is the external energy of the Lord. And so it's all Krishna, it's all energy of Krishna. But Krishna also has a personal form. And it's that form that we behold and find so beautiful and is the absolute truth. Krishna is the absolute truth. See, it says, Jopi Sanna Vyayatma, Bhutanami Shvaropi San. That's 4:6. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So his original transcendental form, and we'll hear later in chapter 11, is his two-handed form with conch, shell, lotus, disc, and club. And so in that way, we'll find out later at the end of the chapter, that's what Arjuna actually wants to see. And so Krishna is all those things at once. He's showing his universal form, which some yogis want to behold. But those who are bhaktas, those who are devotees of the Lord, they want to see his original transcendental form, which is two-handed form with a flute, 3 bins, and also, you got Radharani right next to him. You can't have Krishna without Radha. Is that okay? And then we have Magadhar, you had a question?
So, I had I wanted to kind of continue this little comment. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Please.
So, I like how you just highlighted that, everything is God because it's all from that one source. And there's differentiations within that, within that one thing, we can say, or within that one word, God, you describe. There's 3 energies which are actually delineated. So this is very interesting that many people are saying it's all one, and they replace the word one with God. And we say, yes, you're not wrong. You're right too. And it's not just my idea. It's from the scripture. It's from the most ancient scientific text on the planet. But I want you to know, it also says that there's 3 types of energies which are part of that one substance. And that one substance or that one concept, God, that oneness, is presented in full or realized in full in a personal form. So I just think that's so awesome that we don't have to disagree. We say, yes, it is all one, but that's not the whole story. There's more than that. I'm not you, am I? Doesn't make sense. You have your own feelings and your own desires. So just from my limited personal experience on this small planet, I already have a reason to disagree with the all one factor or all one point. So maybe I don't have enough evidence to rule it out completely, but I at least know there's more to the story based on my own personal experience. Because you felt things that I never felt. So how can it be completely all one? So there's more to the story that's described in the text, as you mentioned, that there's 3 types of energies. So it's just so awesome, this Vedic knowledge. I thought the other thing that was nice was that some people, we want to see that totality, that oneness, all at one time. We want to have all the material varieties which are experienceable in this material world based on where I'm at now, at one time. Countless lives and countless universes, I'll just experience them all immediately at one time, one place. That's amazing. But what's so amazing is that somebody created all of that. How can I know that person? Where's my relationship with that person? Somebody's behind that? So we can imagine the greatness of this universal form to some extent, based on our limited perspective, even in this one lifetime, which we can remember. And we know that that would be amazing. And we hear about it being amazing. But this whole chapter is spilling the beans. There's a person behind it, and he's so kind. He's willing to personally relate to us as if we're his intimate associate. And Arjuna is a friend to Krishna, and he's showing, yeah, I'll just be your friend. Let's hang out. Let's spend time together. So those are some really things that stuck out to me. I took too much time for this, so maybe I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you so much for your comments, Prabhu. Yeah, we're always hankering after a relationship. And you can't have a relationship with a universal form. But we can try to develop that relationship with Krishna as he likes. And so we just have, through our chanting of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We can become purified. We can clean that dirtiness in our hearts. And, we can get realizations of the universal form, but even better is the personal form of the Lord. Thank you all for tolerating me. We've gone a little over time. Thanks for coming. Panchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.